Got the Pioneer all cleaned up. Went ahead and threw a new battery in it. Went with the ETX 14. Has the threaded terminals, positive, negative. They're correct for the Pioneer. And with the threaded terminals, you don't have to worry about the square nuts falling out, losing them, however. And then did try to crank it. Realized we're getting no fuel coming out of the fuel pump. But I do hear a noise, so gonna go ahead and pull this plug off, see if we're getting power there. If we're not, I'll go ahead and trace down a wire, and then if we are getting fuel there, or power there, then I'll go ahead and get a fuel pump on order, get it swapped out. Just cleaning it up slowly, getting it taken care of. So we got the plug off, got the test light, and so far we're getting 3 grounds and 1 hot. This ground does look a little weak. I'm not sure. I tested the wire right here too. Still getting the same thing. Might just go ahead and try a new fuel pump, get it thrown in, and then go from there. If it doesn't work, then it's going to be that weak ground on the plug. So I'm getting code 12 and 13 on the dash, which is a front and back injector, and then there's an idle air control valve code. And if there's a problem with the injectors, it's going to cut fuel coming out of the fuel pump. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these covers pulled off, start back here, check the injectors, and go from there. So got the fuel pump checked. It's getting power, but still not sending any fuel out. And after seeing the rat's nest in the front, we checked all the wires we could before buying it, but without pulling the bike apart. We got 2 wires to the rear injector chewed through right there, and I'm assuming the front injector is going to be the same way. But I'm going to get this air box off, see what wires we need to replace, or go ahead and order some new connector kits and just get it fixed up. And that might be our fueling issue, just fix those injector wires, and then the fuel pump may just kick on. So here's a better look at everything. There's a nest right here, idle air control valve, water temp sensor, back injector, front injector. Just gonna get it all cleaned up and go from there. Start wiring it back together. So 4 plugs. Honda was nice enough to individually wrap all the plugs. We got rear injector, front, temp sensor, and idle air control valve. So we'll just look at the colors, go to the plugs, easy to find, and go ahead and get everything rewired. So I had 2 ATV harnesses laying around. Don't know if they're bad, but I'm just gonna tell myself they are, so I feel better about cutting the plugs off. Gonna go ahead and cut both injector plugs off, and then 1 of the idle air control valve plugs, and then we'll figure out temp sensor issue on this one. Might be able to reference a plug on the ATV harness, but it's that blue one right there in the front. So temp sensor off of the Pioneer is blue. but temp sensor on the ATV is black, but they're the same exact plug. So we'll get this one cut off, and then we have all the plugs we need to get the Pioneer fixed. So I got all the plugs, heat gun, heat wrap, got everything here to go ahead and rewire the 2 injector plugs, temp sensor, and idle air control valve. Went ahead and got 2 new injector plugs just because these had cuts down by the plug. These came off the ATV harnesses, but got everything else. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything set up and hopefully hear it run today. So got everything wired up, just need to get it cleaned up, got it plugged in. Just tested it on Snapchat, and we'll go ahead and get it for this video. Getting fuel, gonna go ahead and connect that line and see if it wants to fire up. You got them needle noses?
Yeah.
Well, them ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
Did your spark plugs crush like a regular crush washer?
Damn, my motherfucking shit don't even stay up now. Oh shit.
We're done mudding. Water's okay, but mud ain't about that mud life. Just got all the wiring cleaned up, got everything wrapped up, tucked away, zip tied, so shouldn't have any issues with it. And bike runs fine, no check engine light, so just need to get everything cleaned up over here. Still have that fuel pump on the way, so may cancel the order or just keep it as a backup. All this needs to get cleaned up as well.